Top of the morning to you, YouTube. It is your buttery voiced host, El Heftismo, and I am very excited to bring you the first episode of the Smoke and Heat Show. And I want to introduce you all to a very, very dear and good friend of mine. This is my buddy. Where are you? There's my buddy Billy
right
Cartwheels. Bill, thank you for showing up and thank you for doing this, brother. It's nice to have you here.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. I'm super excited about it. It's definitely something that, is meant to happen, I guess, right? The stars have aligned.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this kind of stems from our, we share a lot of things in common. I work in meat and you work in tobacco. So, those two are just super correlated.
Yes.
But we're right. That's the more important thing.
Right there, yes. I'm right there. It just works.
It does. Absolutely. And you're an awesome guy. You guys have a lot of really great products at your store, but we'll get to all that. Billy, for everybody who doesn't know, why don't you explain a little bit about yourself and, tell us.
So, we can just I won't go into the whole elongated version of it, but I'll kind of condense it from the sense of being able to be a part of this brings me to a sense of why we smoke cigars, why we like hot food and beers and bourbons. Being born and raised here in New York, being in a situation where I've come a long way with the educational aspect of life, from traveling to 48 states to being in college for a couple of years, being in the military, United States Navy, being that I lived in a monastery for a couple of years, being at that young age and having that grasp of not wanting to grow up and be in a position where I can say, I wish I shoulda, coulda, woulda. I did it, been there, did it. And what's up, Joey? I see you, brother. I'm hollering at you. So with that being said, definitely excited to know that I can look in the past and know that in the present I'm making good choices and being a part of a great time of life, I guess, even though from the New York standpoint, it's kind of shitty sometimes with the government. Just experience going through certain things that are going on, and there's a lot of topics in the world that we don't necessarily have to get into, but we all know topics that are going on in the world. But it's great to be here. It's great to have the knowledge that I have and be a friend of yours. It's an honor to be a friend of you, Kev.
I feel the same way, brother. You're a really good dude.
Some people in the world we look forward to seeing, and you're one of those guys.
Well, I appreciate that very much, brother, and likewise to you, man. I definitely feel that I'm a better person for having you as a friend. And again, I think we were talking about this a little bit in the green room, dude. That is an amazing looking stogie. I'm not even gonna lie.
All right, so this is what we have here, and for all that you don't know, I do work at Ed Lee's Tobacco and Stacks and Plaza. So if you're local, you're checking things out, you want a cigar, come by Ed Lee's. But this one in particular, Camera, there it is, New World Cameroon. I chose the Cameroon wrapper. I chose an AJ stick because it's always a guaranteed stick, as we all know. Also, the president of the Distinguished Ruffians loves the Cameroon wrapper, so I'm kind of smoking this in his honor as well. But for the most part, AJ is not only just an amazing individual who does tobacco, anything his name is on, people are just going to go to it, buy it. It's generally 9 times out of 10 a good stick. But with what we're pairing, everything today, the hot, the drinks, the bourbon, the IPA, this is just one of those smooth sticks that will blend it good with everything.
And that actually brings a couple good points. I forgot to mention that on top of the cigar, what this whole show is going to be about. I probably should have led with that. Billy and myself are going to be reviewing, because we both have an affinity for spicy foods and beer. Good beer. Well, I say that drinking a Molson Ice at the moment, but come on, like we all have our vices, okay? I'm pretty sure this can actually beat the coronavirus, which is why I have not gotten it yet. But so basically we're going to be reviewing, this week we have hot wings, chicken wings that we got from Primal, your local butcher, which also is in Stuyvesant Plaza, conveniently located next to Ed Lee's. Come buy stuff. And so we're pairing that. That's with, as far as I'm concerned, I got the Elijah's Extreme Hot Sauce on it. I forgot to bring the bottle up because I'm a bonehead. But if they make an awesome product. I picked that up down at Puckerbutt Farms, or Puckerbutt Pepper Company down in January in South Carolina, which is owned by Ed Curry, who invented the Reaper. Hell of a nice guy. Got to meet him. I got to meet Bella and Dart from Heat 101.
That I saw when you posted on Instagram?
Yes, sir. Yeah. The shorter gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just a very genuine, happy to meet you kind of guy. So that's what I've got going on the Hot Wings, and then we also have an IPA that Billy and I are going to be doing. Billy has a little bit different of a sauce. I'll let him explain that in a second. As far as the IPA goes, we are doing a vulgar display of flour. My only wish is that it came with a picture of either Dimebag Darrell or Phil Anselmo on it, because it just reminds me of a Pantera album. That we have it from your local butcher. And Billy, what do you got for your IPA, buddy?
I'm doing a Captain Lawrence Brewing Company, Citra Dreams, that was also purchased at the Primal Butchery.
Yeah, that's actually one of the more popular ones, too.
Yeah, it's actually nice. I have not had it, but I can guarantee it. Anybody who knows Captain Lawrence or who has had Captain Lawrence knows every one of those beers I've had from him is actually pretty solid. It's a hazy IPA, double dry hopped with Citra hops. So
it's
awesome. Actually really smooth. I would be drinking the same beer right now as my good friend Hefty over there, but there was a little confusion last night. And the green room, I did tell Hef, so I apologize to everyone out there. But the good news is options are good. So
yes,
if you're looking
absolutely.
For good options, Primal always has not only some of the best options, but always things that you wouldn't necessarily find in any other brew store. So stop over there for your meats and get your beers over there too.
And then go to Edley's, obviously, and get some smokes. And you can actually sit down and smoke in the shop, which is awesome.
Right. You
see a lot of regulars in there.
Halfway through, put your cigar down, go get your meats, go get some beer, come back, your cigar will probably still be lit.
That's very true. And you guys will be waiting there for him. Tuna's here. This is a good buddy of mine, Tuna Shogun. What is going on,
What's
Tuna?
Going on, Tuna?
Can we smoke squid in the shop? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can smoke squid in the shop.
You know?
It is possible.
Yeah.
we'll have to check on that one. And what is the bourbon we're doing again? It's what have we got?
Okay, so the bourbon we have here, have not tried. So stay tuned for more options. But this one here, Puncher's Chance. It is something new, something different. It's got a little tiger on the front there. Something different. Let's see what it says.
I like the bottle.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's what attracted me to it, and I meant that it's actually not even that expensive. You can actually get this also in Stuyvesant Plaza. We always try to support your local business as much as possible. Helps everything keep going and the cycle going. With that being said, over in Stuyvesant, Top Shelf Wine and Spirits. They have this over there, and they also like to kind of keep things on the shelf that is new, something different. If you have a certain request, you want to support local, that'll be there. Check it out. But this one here, just to kind of give it a little background to it, Puncher's Chance is a Kentucky straight bourbon inspired by two great American traditions, whiskey and fighting for what we believe in. This bourbon is made with a heart and honor for those who know how far they've come. As we were just talking about life, and you would ask me my little bit of background.
I was just thinking that, yeah. That's funny that it all connects. Yeah.
Yeah, it all connected somehow. For those who started early, stayed later, day after day, year after year, for those who have the courage and strength to do what others won't. So, Puncher's Chance. It is a 45%. And let's dive into it.
Sounds good.
Cheers, everybody.
Sláinte, buddy.
Whoever's on and watching it.
To the Tuna Empire.
And Solange. That's really good.
Oh.
That is good.
Oh, wow. Now, granted, I'm not a really big liquor drinker anymore. That is smooth.
Wow.
That's really smooth. And that's got a really nice...
I'm picking up like a zesty orange almost.
Oh, yeah.
Cherry and orange or some kind of something. Maybe even a slight bit of that barrel taste.
Neals here, Luther the Great. What's up, buddy? This is the gentleman Billy that makes my tinctures. The ones that I bought and that we did the little eyedroppers of. That's the gentleman that makes them.
Great tinctures. I think I had two. I don't know how many you sent you, but I know I had like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
And there
had
was one that
five.
you
I
were
know
like,
we had a few of them. We had the yellow Scotch bonnet. We had the Reaper, and I think we had like the Super Red Hot. I think are the ones we tried, or was it the Ghost Pepper one? Did you bring the Ghost Pepper donut that one day? And then we put the Ghost
yes.
Pepper one
So
on
I
there.
know I had the yellow one, and then I had, there was one that was like extreme, and I was like, whoa, I better wait on that one.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
There, he makes a yeah. Yes, actually, I don't have it near me anymore, but he's the one that made the 16 million uh, crystal stuff that I have. That is
oh,
just
that was
oof.
yeah. This stuff, the nut was that the nuts?
No, no, no.
The
This
one?
is just straight liquid. This is just
Oh,
100%
okay,
pure burn.
okay, just the
I'll
liquid. That's interesting.
maybe I'll bring you in a drop. We'll see if you're on that. And that was actually one of the other points, Joey. I'm glad you brought that up. That I wanted to. Where are we
Hey,
here?
Distinguished Ruffian TV. That must be the president, Mitch. What's happening, brother?
That was actually my next topic. Is did you want to? Now I really don't know that much about the Distinguished Ruffian. Would you care to explain that and in a little bit of detail? And yes, glory
Yes,
to the Tuna
absolutely.
Empire, Tuna.
Yes, and you know, I'm on the spot here, so
It's
I
okay.
better, I feel like at this point I got to get it, I got to get it right because my prez is watching. If not, I can get respect any moment. I can say that, right off the rip, we're over 10,000 members deep within the cigar community. Um, the president has started this. I believe it was back in 2016. If the year is off, I'm sorry, but I believe it's 2016 with a couple of friends, and it was from one idea, and here we are. We got hats, we got all kinds of different things. If you're ever interested in checking things out, distinguishedruffian.com. It has got a bio there. It's got a history there. Just have a drink. You're doing great. I'll cheers to that. By the way, Mitch, I'm having a New World Cameroon, AJ. I know you're a Cameroon guy, so this was kind of in honor of you and pairing with everything else. But with that being said, yeah, so we're about 10,000 members deep worldwide, Dominican, England, all over the United States, heavy in multiple areas, and we're still growing, still continuing to grow. Yes, there is other clubs out there. Yes, there is other things to go out there. And we're definitely not against anybody saying, hey, don't do this club or that club. But I can promise you one thing. As we were discussing about life and discussing about where I've come and the development for, where we're at in life and how I got here and all the little things that had occurred to get me and you where we're at right now in this moment of time, that there's people that you come across. I think Bob Marley said it best one day. Good friends may come and good friends may go. You keep your friends closer. You have your intimate core circle, and then you have your acquaintances. Um, the way I see it, the moment my first Zoom herp, which happens every Thursday, just so everybody's out there and they ever want to join, Thursday at 7 o'clock. We always have a special guest on there. It's a good time. It's fun. Also drinks and laughs and good times. But with that being said, the first Zoom herp I ever had, just looking at the faces of the brothers that are now I now call my family, that I know, but just like you have, I know that if I ever really needed something, someone to talk to, you're there. When you and I first started
Absolutely.
talking, I just felt like a good connection with you. And it's like
Oh,
that with,
absolutely.
you know, you had me at Cameroon, exactly. But for the most part, that's how I felt with the Distinguished Ruffian family. And then learning about some of the other clubs and learning about how certain clubs kind of stemmed from the Ruffian family. And then it was like, wow. So I chose as what was that, the Indiana Jones? You chose wisely, at
Yeah,
the
he
very end.
chose wisely. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah. So I chose
Yep.
wisely, and that's how I feel about the Distinguished Ruffians. I wholeheartedly feel that if anyone's ever interested, again, distinguishedruffian.com. There's a bio in there. If you're looking to maybe be a member or you want to learn anything more, we're always here to help, answer any questions. But the website does tell all tales, and it's a fantastic website. Mitch done a great job on the website explaining everything, and it's just one of those families, like I said, you turn to, talk to, relate with. Everybody's gone through life in some which way or form. Um, from New York to California. There's members all over the place, and it's a happy family, and it's meant to just have fun, right? Isn't life in general to have fun, not take it too seriously?
I think a lot of people lose that along the way, that one aspect. And I remember hearing something at my grandfather's funeral that always stuck with me, and it was nobody on their deathbed ever said, I didn't spend enough time at the office. You know what I mean?
Right.
So stop, smell the roses, have some fun, and I agree with one of the things you said earlier when you were kind of discussing your back history with you didn't want to live with the woulda, shoulda, coulda, in life. And there's a lot of that, and I think people, they definitely lose the just have fun along the way,
Yes.
And I also like that. Yes, sir.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because some of my brothers and some of my family's on here watching, and they don't really know a lot about you. And
that's probably better off.
Give a little bit of background of you. How'd you get into the hot food? How'd you know that way back in the day you liked hot food, or what made you?
I really didn't. That kind of fell in my lap. Like, even if you go back a few years ago, when I was a kid, I, like you, had been around one of those, like, if you and I wrote a book on growing up, it'd be like that long. You know what I mean? Between stories that I'm sure that we could relate just from life and things. I spent a lot of time, in Louisiana, in the mid 90s, and everything's spicy down there. So that's kind of where I started liking it. And then I kind of grew out of it. And I really didn't like spicy stuff until I saw LA Beast, who's a guy out of New Jersey who does like all these crazy videos. He's a YouTuber. And he did one that was of these like super spicy ramen noodles. And Eric went and got me a 6-pack of the things.
Uh-huh.
And I tried it and was like, I downed, I think, like a half gallon of chocolate milk like afterwards, and it was like the hottest thing I'd ever eaten. And then from there, it was like almost like a drug. And it was like, okay, what else you got out there? And then you look and there's like all these different challenges they had of like chocolates and gummy bears and like all these other things, and I'm just like, well, how hot is this gonna be? And then every single time for a lot of the first few videos, it was like, this is the hottest thing I've ever eaten. And then you're constantly one-upping it. But that's how I got into the spicy thing. And it just kind of, I love doing YouTube. It's a small channel. But I always liked doing YouTube. It was a lot of fun. And then when I realized that you can just like have fun with it, and kind of like with the Ruffians, the chili head community in general is just some of the nicest, most caring, compassionate, cool people who are just really down to earth and extremely supportive. Tuna and Neal, Luther the Great, and like Katie from Beyond Seattle Eats, who I've done several videos with, and my buddy Joe Weymouth. I've just, with YouTube and the hot stuff, I've been lucky to meet a lot of cool friends that I just never would have met before on YouTube. So that's kind of how I fell into this whole gig.
Sure.
And I'm still pumping out content.
Don't mind a little hot thing or whatnot, you can always follow Hefty on his Hefty TV on the occasion, because he does put out some hot food challenges. And I tell you, I've seen a couple, and I know that I like spicy food, but some of those things I know that I'm just not there, and it is a challenge.
Yeah,
and there's Seattle Eats, right?
Yeah, Beyond Seattle Eats. She's a beast.
Yeah, she is ultimate champion in my opinion. And oh my God, Katie, right? Her name is Katie.
Yeah, Katie. Yeah, and and the funniest thing is she's the sweetest, nicest person you could ever meet. So
kind, and yet, man, she did that peanut challenge, that tube of terrible, was a tube of whatever it was.
The tube, where we did the 2 tubes, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 tubes and the peanuts, and she's just like, oh, you're like, dude, I gotta stop.
Yeah, I was out, man.
To the milk, I never saw someone drink so much milk in like less than 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, you should see some of the earlier ones. It's like, dude, I just like down it, and there's no talking involved. But I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoy that. And again, I think that's one of the things that you and I really connected on. Because, I'm not really a big cigar guy. I don't really drink hard liquor anymore. So I think that we both have a similar interest, very similar interests.
Sure.
But the discussions are always fun. And I constantly learn stuff from you, which is great. because learning is a lifelong
Goodbye,
experience,
person.
and you're a pretty good
Yeah, man.
teacher. So,
Well, you know, I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate the compliment. Just giving a shout out to Alexis. I see you there, Alexis. Thanks for
yeah,
joining us, buddy.
absolutely. Yeah, and I want to thank everybody in the chat for checking this out. That's super cool. They guys decided to take out a little bit of time here today and come see me and this potato guy here eating some spicy stuff and just having a little bit of fun. So
Speaking of spice,
what else?
should we
Yeah, I was
dive
just
into
thinking
the
that.
spice or something
Yeah, I
here?
might as well.
No, we got our groove on, and I'm
Yeah.
intrigued. Thanks for supplying that sauce. Now I will say, as I was mentioning to you earlier, that I took your sauce and kind of tuned it up a little with a little bit of honey, not honey mustard. I would just say honey barbecue sauce, or I'm sorry, mustard barbecue sauce. Didn't have even honey in it, so because maybe I'm just a sissy like that sometimes, where it's too hot. You know, I don't want to take it all out, but we'll see. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, so we got the so these are the wings with the Days and Sandy sauce. I'm plugging the wrong thing. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Elijah's Extreme Regret. It's so good. So this has the Carolina Reaper and Scorpion Maruga Scorpion peppers in it, and it's just a fantastic heat with flavor mix. A lot of the people I work with, Billy, actually, who just don't even like hot sauce, you know how I'll just bring in bottles of hot sauce, and then everybody will want to, Spence will be like, "Oh, I want to try it," and then he'll try it and stuff. And this is actually their favorite one that I've bought in because it's got such good flavor.
I think it was my favorite one too, wasn't it? Because you said, this is the one you're gonna love. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah. Well, let's see what you got, buddy. Here.
All right.
How'd your wings turn out? Mm-hmm.
Got some heat. Got some flavor.
Yep. Ooh, that is hot.
Yep.
It's a good burn, though.
It's just enough flavor. It is burn. I don't know if my mom's on right now. Club is family, Alexis. Club is family. I know I sent a little link to my mom. She might be on. But I bring this up because she would go back in her day when she lived here as well. She currently lives in Florida. But she'd go to Scoobers. The Scoobers Wings.
Mm-hmm.
I believe on Wolf Road.
I've never been, but I've heard of Scoobers.
We should go. You and I should go there sometime.
Yeah.
They have level of heat. Hey, there she is.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Pamela.
Mom, Pamela Bourbon. There she is. But I was just telling them, Mom, that you used to go to Scoobers and eat the Scoober wings and the hot wings. And yeah, their challenge is like no time limit, but if you can eat 5 of their like extreme hot wings, then I don't know if you get a shirt or something. I don't know. I don't know what the concept is now, but you only have to eat 5.
That's fine.
5.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to go sometime. That sounds like a lot of fun. Ooh, man, that is a good heat. Really meaty wings, too.
The flavor is just, it makes you want more. But the heat is right there.
Mm-hmm. It's got a good whole mouth burn to it. So it doesn't just single out parts of your tongue or like the roof of your mouth. It just kind of an all-enveloping heat.
The initial bite is hotter than the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you've had your second bite, it's not as hot because now your mouth is used to it.
Ooh, man, that is good.
Ooh. Okay, that was hot. Caught a pepper in that one. Woohoo! My mom says, my only regret was hot food was thinking I could do a jalapeno eating contest.
Ooh, I'll tell you, eating raw peppers, completely different demon from eating hot sauce and stuff. That is like legit.
All right. Ooh, Lordy. I tell you though, the flavor's there, the heat is there, but that sip of the Citrus Dreams IPA, whoo!
I'm actually going to bust into my pardon me, my vulgar display of flour now. Oh man, those wings are freaking good.
Yeah, man.
I wish I could have had some. I bet that. Oh, stop! It's no problem at all, man. It's my pleasure. I bet that goes really well with the honey barbecue because it'll give that little. Was it a honey or mustard?
The mustard. I think it's mustard barbecue, but it may have a little bit of the honey in there. It doesn't say honey. It's a Sweet Baby Ray's for anybody who's interested.
Oh, the Sweet Baby Ray's. Oh yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, they always do a solid job.
Oh, they really do. Beer.
My mom said I did it for a free beer for the night. Unfortunately, it also cost me the next 5 days of agony.
Yep. So when I was talking before, when we went to South Carolina in January, we went to Quaker Steak and Lube. Dude, it's a place where you can get like food and like an oil change at the same joint. Now I know what you're thinking.
Really? Where's that?
Yeah, it's in South Carolina. They have them all over the place. It's called Quaker Steak and Lube, and they had a wing challenge that myself and 2 out of my 3 younger brothers attempted, and we crushed it. And they really don't do hot stuff like I do. But they can absolutely hang, and it was funny because my one brother's got like all my brothers have like gnarly beards, and he got home. They're back to my youngest brother's place in South Carolina. He was taking a shower the next morning, and there was so much of the sauce still in his beard that it gave him like lip numbings the next day. It was insane. It was really good. It was cut with like a berry sauce in with like the scorpion wing sauce, so it had like a real nice sweet flavor to it, and the wings were phenomenal. I'll tell you, for a place I was really like, this place sounds super shady, but it was really, really cool, really cool, and the food was really good.
What was the hottest thing you say you had in your past? Was it that chocolate bar you did?
Nemesis bar, by far, far and away. That was absolutely the hottest thing I've ever eaten, and will not be reattempting that one rather. Hey, speaking of which, there's my brother that lives in South Carolina that I was talking about. What's up, Ed? I forget where I was going with that.
The hot bar, the Nemesis.
Oh God, yeah. But so that was really bad. Then the Neuromancer challenge. Just afterwards, I was 6 hours in the most excruciating like capsaicin cramps. Because a lot of people are like, "Oh, you must have been burning." And I'm like, "Let me tell you something. The burn, temporary. The burn is something you're going to be like, you're going to be in a lot of pain for what amounts to be a very small amount of time in the long run. It feels agonizingly long, but then if you digest all that and you don't like reverse pretty quickly thereafter, you start to feel it here, and your entire digestive system cramps. I've never been in labor before, but I can only imagine it's pretty close. So now I know my level, and I am very, I know my place in the spice world now after that stuff. But the Nemesis bar is, and I think Eddie put it the best, as the Nemesis bar is my only nemesis. How about yourself? I know you typically do just the sauces and stuff. Now you don't get onto the the challenges or any of that the showmanship side of things, right? You pretty much
I mean, it's one of those things where knowing that I like spicy food, like I even make my own jalapeno poppers, and I cut them out halves. I go and I take the seeds out, but I take some of the seeds and put them in my own little herb cream cheese kind of mixing.
Oh, wow.
And then I pack them in there, and then I wrap them in bacon, Predominantly speaking, I generally Don't eat bacon all the time, even though bacon is hella good. But there is a time when bacon is okay in my palate, and that is when I have jalapeno.
Oh yeah, you gotta have
And
those.
I put them in the air fryer. Like now that I've discovered the air fryer takes all the grease out, but it still leaves that bacon flavor. It still has that crisp, and with the seeds inside. And I learned that putting the jalapeno seeds, and some guys have done it where they've used habanero seeds inside the cream cheese mixing. When I
Oh
lived out in
wow.
House, New Mexico, they had their homemade in-house jalapeno poppers, but they took habaneros and chopped them up in the cream cheese with the seeds in the cream cheese in the in the jalapeno, wrapped them in bacon and then breaded them. So and they only served you three.
Oh my
That
God.
was probably the hottest thing I've ever had. But then it also inspired me to say, okay, I could admit the habanero, but that was very, very hot. I've seen a kid in my temple. I shouldn't call him a kid. When I lived in the temple for a couple of years, every now and again we'd have a hot challenge, and it got down to the point where, well, let me see what this happens, because my buddy was like, hey, let's see who can eat a whole like a half a habanero, and just bite down the pepper, just go ahead and chew. And I was like, okay, you first. And he's like, all right. So he bit the habanero, probably got some seeds in there, and he was chewing. Literally 30 seconds later, beet red face. Literally, he stopped eating. He had to spit it out. Drooling, snot was coming out.
Oh
He's
yeah.
like, I can't finish it. I'm like, okay, now I'm not going to do that. What? You're
Yep.
not going to do it? I'm like, dude, I said you first. I didn't say I was going to do it. I just wanted to see you do it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And
No,
especially being a kid, because
yeah.
that's habaneros are no joke, dude. And again, Billy, this is not that's not glare. That is actually condensation on the inside of my glasses
From the heat. From the heat.
from the heat. Yeah. So that's a little weird.
Yeah. Your
But yeah,
brother
that's
said,
crazy,
why
man.
choice of having him go first?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Whew. Man, those I might actually have another wing. That's some really good bourbon.
It is good. It's tasty. Super smooth. It's got all the right flavors behind it. I'll have another wing with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I will as well. Ooh, this one's gonna be bad. Ooh.
Ooh.
Mm. I actually did cornstarch on the outside to crisp them up a bit.
Yes.
So
Did it
good.
work? Yeah. And you air fried them, right? Yeah, I have the air fryer too. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Air fryers, I tell you, is the only way to go now. They're so
Actually,
worth the
Matt got
investment.
me ours. Oh yeah,
Worth the investment.
I've done breakfast pizzas in them.
Other than everything else in life, I'm certainly glad that the weather's starting to change. Get a little
Oh
nicer, get a
yeah,
little better. For all the things that we've gone through. Your brother says this was a bad idea to start watching while hungry. Now all I can think about is wings.
you know where Publix is, Ed.
Publix.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it
With
was a
everything
really
that,
long winter.
man, it felt like it, especially with COVID happening. It felt like every day was just longer and longer. I mean, we're still in COVID, but it's just crazy how other states are being a little, loosened up, and yet here we are in New York, and they're still uh, tobacco taxes, the masks, everything is just
New York is just it's a tough state to live in. It's a
it
very
really is.
expensive state to live in.
Chicago is all well. Illinois is another state tough to live in. Joey can
Yeah,
contest to that.
I have a couple
Chicago in
buddies
general is
actually
very
out that
tough.
way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, my one buddy Nick
It-
lives out in Chicago, and my one buddy Jimmy, who used to work at the Clifton Park Primal when that was around, is now a chef out of Chicago, like a private chef. So he's doing extremely well for himself.
Nice.
which is really cool. Yeah, you meet a lot of interesting people when you work in food and tobacco. I mean, I can only assume.
Oh, yeah.
I've worked when you work retail, you just meet interesting people. But if you're in like niche markets, like meat or like specific things, you run into all sorts of interesting people. And especially in Albany. Albany is a very interesting area. Um, do you have any particular customers that have come in that really, and not necessarily like mean ones or bad ones? Do you have any that stick out to be either particularly interesting, or you have any cool stories about any of them?
You know,
Because I know a couple people that shop at your store. They are some very, very interesting
yeah,
characters.
there is some crazy people. I mean, I think the most interesting that I've just experienced, not necessarily at Ed Lee's. I mean, every day at Ed Lee's, there's always a story. There's always somebody. There's always something to,
Shout out to
learn
Greenhorn, by
from.
the way.
What's that?
I said shout out to Greenhorn, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Newbie?
yes, Greenhorn. Yeah, rookie. Weren't you calling him rookie?
Rookie. I don't
Yeah,
know why I
rookie.
can't remember. Rookie.
And if John, if you're watching right now, owner of Ed Lee's Tobacco, we call rookie Jack. So Jack is the rookie. Jack is the greenhorn. Jack is that guy. But yeah, that's a little funny
Jack
story.
is that guy.
Yeah, he's working right now, probably, or else he'd be on. But he's working, doing the hustle. But everything's good. But yeah, so I was just at. So I'm official. I can tell everybody. I've been kind of just announcing it here and there. It's been official for a couple weeks now, but I'm the official Epic Cigar and Nat Seco ambassador. Can't necessarily. Timing is just off to necessarily be the rep, but right now it's fitting because I love working at Ed Lee's. I love being next to the in Stuyvesant Plaza. It's a really kind of cool place to work. The scenery is really nice, especially this time of year. Um, yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I know. That's what I'm thinking in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of drifted there for a second, and I'm
But
like,
certain things that go on. But I just experienced another really good shop. And if anybody's local, someone's in the city, someone's watching, someone's in visiting, um, down in Hudson, because from here it's down. But there's a smoke shop called the Iron Horse, and it's kind of cool. I was sitting there, and it happened a couple different times in other shops and across the U.S., but nothing in the sense of like a first-hand experience. And this guy comes walking in, and I'll say his name is Ruben, and nice guy came in, and then he just started. He knows all the other guys. He has a locker there, and he just starts talking. I said, well, Ruben, what do you do? And he says, well, I'm part of this and part of that. I have a couple businesses and blah blah blah. I'm like, wow, what got you into that? And he's like, well, I left the NFL. And I said, wait, did you leave the NFL? And he was like, yeah, I used to play with Denver Broncos and, went into that. And then he was like, yeah, well, I said, well, did you play for any other team? He was like, yeah, the Miami Dolphins. I played for the New York Jets, and I was like, whoa. I'm like I've met other people, but I haven't really met someone from the NFL, and it's
that's
whatever.
crazy.
But it was kind of cool. And he had some really cool stories. So my
I can
time
imagine.
there, I was going to kind of condense, but then listening to him, I ended up staying another hour just listening to him talk and his stories and his chat. Showed me pictures. I asked him if John Elway was actually as good as as nice of a person as you say he is. He was like, dude, let me show you some pictures. The guy's a beast. And it was nice. It was nice to just talk. And then he was like, yeah, just last week I played with Lou Holtz from Notre Dame. And I was like, wait, what? Lou Holtz? He's like, yeah, let me show you pictures. So back when Ruben was going to, he went to Buffalo University, and based on that, he wanted to try to get into Notre Dame, but his academic level was as on par as it should have been. But because of everything, que sera, he should have made a couple of phone calls, and there was a potential that he could have gotten in to play Notre Dame. That was his dream goal, to go and play for Notre Dame. But somehow or other, Lou Holtz knew that and knew that he had to be rejected because Notre Dame has such an extremely high bar for academic level that you have to reach. Well, he wasn't at that bar. He played hell of a football game, but whatever the fact, Lou remembered him. So when Ruben was down playing golf with the whole team, someone came up and said, "Hey, Coach wants to talk to you." And he said, "Coach, what do you mean, Coach?" He says, "Yeah, Lou Holtz from Notre Dame. He wants to go. He wants to talk to you. And he wants to rap with you." What? So he showed me all these pictures. Sometimes when you hear these stories, you think, "Oh, I'm calling bullshit." But in the end,
Truth is stranger than fiction, dude.
Story, history, pictures to back everything up. It was just a great little thing to kind of meet him. It was a positive story.
Wow.
And then, of course, you have other stories upon stories. But with that being said, they all educate myself to learn a little bit more about myself and be a better person. Because inspiration is there. When inspiration hits you, might as well go run with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it's funny my closest thing is my grandfather actually played football. Whose coach in high school, his coach was Vince Lombardi. So it's kind of neat.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty phenomenal. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like a book of Vince. It's like one of Vince Lombardi's books or whatever like that. And there's like a picture of him like back in the day. My grandfather is in one of the pictures with him, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Of course, all this I find out posthumously, as there are unfortunately two good. I mean, he was a very tight-lipped Irishman.
You have an Irish background too, don't you? You're Irish.
Yes, yeah. On my mother's side, yeah, extremely, extremely Irish. Yeah, but he was just very, he didn't talk a lot, but when he did, obviously you listened, and if you don't like what's on the table, you ain't eating. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was one of those kind of deals,
Like that too, yeah.
And but he was an amazing dude, and it was amazing and sad because after he had passed, you learn all these cool stories about a person. It's like I really wish I had known these while he was still alive because I'd love to talk to him about these, or just like pick his brain and be like, and especially being older now, back sure. From when I was like an angry little bastard, just straight up, dude. And didn't really, my caring of, I was just not mentally where I am now. And just, I wish that I don't know, it's tough. I wish that I had thought of these things back when he was alive. And my big thing now is like old people love hearing their stories because they got a bunch of them.
Yes, they do. And learning,
And learning, exactly. And
it's funny because you hear the newer generations these days. You hear their stories, and it's kind of like not as in depth as it was, when we were growing up, listening to our seniors and elders and different people within our generation, listening to their stories about, there was no phone, TV was black and white. They walked to school, things like that, Yeah,
and now I tell my nieces, I'm like, yeah, there was no interweb like 30 years ago, and like phones didn't fit in your pocket when I was a kid. Ooh.
Yeah. Phones, yeah. Crazy.
Remember little black books, buddy?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Like you just had to, because there were no,
Right.
I've always been a gamer though.
Gamer?
Video games is one of those things. Yeah, I've always loved video games. In that respect, I've been lucky, and I've obviously never grown up, as you can tell by like pretty much my entire. Yeah, some Ghostbusters toys and some stuff over there. And
there you go.
My horror movies are behind me here. Stuff. Thanks, my buddy makes them actually.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. Tuna. I love Tuna. Now let me explain a little something about Tuna. Because Billy, I'm sure you're like, so Tuna is nobody knows who Tuna is. Tuna is an individual who stays in character all the time. I think I've heard of one person who has actually met Tuna in real life and says he's just like a super cool, down to earth guy. I'm not going to tell who met him actually in real life. But Tuna, it shows up. He's a very, very supportive individual. Tuna is actually a moderator on Katie's channel on Beyond Seattle Eats. and is friends with like a bunch of. I have a good friend Jay Sarge who does like scratch offs. Remember when I came in, I got the scratch off the other day or last week or whatever, and I was
Did he
talking
win,
about
by the
that
way?
guy.
Did he win any of them?
No, oh no, I didn't get. I got shit. I got nothing. I was out $10 on that. But Tuna is like such a cool individual and always has funny stuff to say, and has it's so with the squid and the thing like that. It's a whole thing. So Tuna is absolutely cool beans. I feel that I had to explain a little bit, just because Tuna is such a unique individual that. Even at first when I met Tuna, I was like, "What is this?" And then I just kind of fell in love with it. And I'm like, "Dude, this is great. This is great." But anyway, so that's I just wanted to give Tuna a little bit of love because Tuna is an amazing individual and really cool. Yeah, much squid for Tuna. Tuna's eat squid. Billy, so you do your things on Instagram, right? You said the Zoom doodles.
Yes. Yep. Every Thursday we have a Distinguished Ruffian. What the fin is this? Yeah, every Thursday at 7:00 we do Zoom herfs, smoke cigars. Obviously the herfs they're on the Zoom. Usually we can have anywhere from 10 guys to we've had I think up to like from my time of being on Zoom, probably up to 35 people on at one time, depending on who it is. And in fact, if nobody's doing anything this Thursday and you smoke cigars or just want to join in on the fun, we have Drew Estate, very good friend of mine and also a friend of a lot of other people out there, Pedro. He's also on Instagram, but Pedro's an unbelievable guy. He's very personal. He started off, speaking of people starting off from nothing and getting to something, he used to be just a roller, just an average roller in the factory in Nicaragua. And that's all he did. And then eventually he kind of, stuck with it, climbed up, and now he's like a spokesperson, representative. I don't remember what his title is, but he's going to be on guest starring this Thursday.
That's so cool.
It's actually really.
Hopefully, I'll be home by then and I can catch it because I got to work on Thursday. Yeah. But
it's actually,
and apparently you're family now, Billy. You're a cigar tuna, so you're family now. Apparently, that's awesome.
Squids for tuna.
Yeah, I'm Hefty Tuna, and you're a cigar tuna, so you're part of the squid empire now, or the tuna empire. But that's awesome, and I will absolutely because I didn't. I'll add it after the show when the video is up on YouTube. I'll add your Instagram at the bottom and any social media links you want me to include. Actually, if you want to do that, just text me any social media things you want. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans. I was joking about OnlyFans. I'm assuming you don't have an OnlyFans page, right?
No. But there is a joke about that sometimes. They're always looking at his OnlyFans page.
The OnlyFans page?
The fan page. I don't know. Yeah. You said it, but also too, there's a couple guys on the chat, especially particularly one out in Chicago who can be sometimes a nice little wise ass, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. But they say, "Oh, what are you doing right now? Looking at your fans page?" He's hilarious.
Oh man.
Well, that's
awesome.
One thing I like about it is that they're fun, they're joking, it's such a good, dynamic of a crew that it's a blessing to have certain people in our lives. It's a blessing to have you in my life.
Agreed, and likewise, brother. Thank you.
Chat, and just have it's when I look at things, what we've gone through, but each person has their own story. I think people these days, in some which way or form, get caught up in their own, the world evolves around me syndrome, and I'm the only woman and this and that, and you got to work around my schedule. You got to work around, we're all in this together, and that's why I like not only the Distinguished Ruffians, but I like being the mindset where I'm at because we all understand. And if one person hasn't gone through it, there's another person that always will have gone through it. My mom, shout out to her. Of course, I wouldn't be here without her. We should give
Dude, moms are awesome. Shout out to all moms everywhere. Shout out to Vinny.
They've gone through their own stories, and through that story, it made me the person who I am today. And I just try to be a better person, and just try to keep it in moderation, and eat, drink, and be merry. Right? That's what we're all here about.
That's pretty much what we've done this whole show. which is pretty
This
good.
whole show. Eat, drink, be merry, talk a little bit about it.
And again, I want to go back into just a little bit more with the social media aspect of things. So I always had like a quantity. Like I know a lot of people, dude. I have 3 younger brothers that all went to the same. They all went to Shen in Clifton Park, right? So I'm the oldest of 4. So everybody knows the word of their name in Clifton Park. Like I literally can't go anywhere without running into somebody I know just from all the jobs that I've had around here and stuff like that. As far as friend wise goes, I've always preferred quality over quantity, and I think that's something you were kind of talking about earlier as well.
Yeah, those are the words I was looking for, actually.
Yeah, and well, you're welcome. I'm sorry to have stolen it this late in the show, but
steal the thunder, baby.
Well, there are certain people in life you're supposed to meet. You're supposed to meet these people for whatever reason. You are definitely one of them, and I think that everybody that I have been lucky enough to meet on the opportunities that I've been given on YouTube, like I've been on like other people's shows. My YouTube channel, again, not the biggest, but dude, like I've had guests on. I'm on Tom and Amy's. We do every Friday. We do a paranormal show, and they live in the UK, and I initially started out where I was going to be like just a guest on it because they were doing a topic of horror movies based on true stories, and I'm the horror movie guru. So my buddy Nick recommended me to them. And then I think 2 shows afterwards, they were like, do you want to be a permanent co-host? And I was like, I'd be honored to. Like, absolutely. And now we all have this video chat going that we talk to each other every single day. Every single day. And I've made some super cool friends. And I know it sounds like you have too with the ruffians and everything. And especially with everything going on, like you said, with COVID and everything having to be virtual. I think just opens up a world of opportunities for everybody. And I'm absolutely 100% blessed to know the people that I do and to be able to have met the people that I have met and have the friends that I have. And now I like to think that I have both quality and quantity of friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Which is, and they always say you can never have your cake and eat it too. But speaking for myself, I feel that I do. I have the best of both worlds, and it's really awesome. Yes, Tuna Enough has actually been in. We've seen at the streams with Ben from Fright Rags. You make all the shirts I wear. Small company out of Rochester. But I digress. I'm sorry. I'm getting held up. But I love having met all these people, and it sounds like you pretty much have the same family with the ruffians.
With that, but being that I have traveled 48 states, even before I felt
we're dude. Ever since the beginning of the video, sorry, we have to talk sometime, bro, because I want to hear stories from you.
Yeah, I'm actually in the process of writing a book, and I've gotten 3 chapters in. It's on this computer right now, but it's been a long time since I've actually, when I was out in Taos, I felt like I had space, time, and energy. Now that I'm back home in the great state of New York here, I feel like I don't have much time. Yeah. I do love New York, hands down. It is great. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met my partner. I wouldn't have met certain things that are going on in life right now. But, with that being said, I do acknowledge that there are other states where like-minded consciousness is there, and I somehow or other had the time to write. So I had an intro, I had a preface, I had 1 chapter, 2 chapter, 3 chapter, and then I just stopped. So one day I feel like I'm going to pick it back up and get into the storytelling. Because if any one of you out there know who Jack Kerouac is, people describe me as Kerouac. People have also described me to other individuals. That's another topic, because that could go on and stem out. But
I almost spit my beer out on that. That was pretty funny.
But I will say,
yes.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, no. Please continue.
I was going to say, just looking at the time, I want to make sure that if there's anybody out there, and I'm sure if you have questions, or if you're intrigued about anything, or if you have something that either Hef or I can answer fairly, you know, quick answers, nothing crazy. We'll take questions if you have any.
Yeah, and again, thank you everybody for watching and being in the comments. And Billy, what I was going to say is, all I ask is that when that book is complete, please let me read it before you get it out to be published or anything. I would love to read that.
Yeah, yeah.
I just need to learn how to read and spell. And colors are hard.
Yeah, it is. I have one friend who's out in Santa Fe, New Mexico right now. Really good friend of mine. He would be on right now, but he's kind of tied up. He might catch the next one, whatever the case. But
sure.
By the way, is this going to be on YouTube? Is this going to be on your? channel?
This will be on YouTube. Oh yeah. This will be on my channel. So, yep.
Cool. Because I think it's going to be on his page and whatever, and then you'll be able to go check it out.
When it's over, it takes a little while to upload to YouTube. If they're watching it now live on YouTube, you'll be fine.
Gotcha.
But so if you look like maybe an hour or two after this is over, I'm telling you, dude, I love Tuna so much. Yes, this is. I absolutely want to do this. So it's going to be youtube.com/HefTV, one word HEFTV. I want this to be so we'll do this the last Sunday of every month. You will obviously be able to,
because I think
I agree.
That you touched on the paranormal thing. I wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that. Maybe we can, and if we're going
that's every Friday, man. I'll tell you what. I am going to be going. My next show starts in about an hour. So that has Tom and Amy on it, who are the paranormal couple. If you want to catch that, or if you want to, at any rate, I will absolutely call you and we will discuss this more because we're always looking for guests. Always cool to talk about stuff. If you want to see me cry, I will send the link to yesterday's video. It was very emotional and very powerful. I will send you a link to that in a text message. I held my shit together pretty well. I did cry on camera.
I had a question for you. He said, "Are you streaming again after this?"
Tuna, yes, I will be streaming at 3:00 on this channel, and we are going to be discussing differences between the United States and Britain. So if you want to, you can tune in again about an hour and catch that show too, and we'll have a cracking good time and smashing a few laughs and maybe have a pint or something. But anyway, Billy, we're just about up, brother. Do you want to have anything else you want to say? I had a great time doing this, by the way.
Yeah, it was. I felt like we could just keep going and going and going, but that'll leave it open for the next time and the next time. But yeah, just remember, support your local business, no matter what state you're in, no matter where you're watching. Just remember, support your local business. Sometimes you have to spend a couple of extra bucks, maybe here and there, especially being in New York if you are local. But no matter where you're at, just always give props to the little guys,
especially the ones that have survived the pandemic. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing I hear too often is like, there was a butcher shop that was open, or we had this store, but because of coronavirus, it all got. A lot of people lost their dreams and lives, but dreams through this whole thing, which I think is absolutely terrible. But that's
support your local farmers too. Yes.
No, absolutely. Billy, I can't. Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say I do appreciate you having me on today.
You're always welcome. This is going to happen again. This is going to happen again.
Yeah.
Billy, I love you very much.
Hey, go. And I didn't even have to do sour cream.
No, I know. I'm very proud of you. And I have a snack for the next show, so this is going to be great. Yeah. Everybody, go check Billy out. Billy the Cigar Guy on Instagram. Go check out Edley's. Go see this man in person. If you're lucky enough to make it on a St. Patty's Day, this guy will be in full regalia, kilt and all.
Yeah.
I love it. Billy, I can't thank you enough for being on. This is so great. This was a lot of fun, and I can't wait till the next one. You will do a next one, won't you? Won't you?
I will. Yes, I will. I'll do it. Yes.
Yeah. Just for me, huh? Guys, so we're going to end on that. And guys, remember, Go out there and do good things because no one else is going to. If everybody did one good thing for someone else each day, this world would not be such a bad place. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks to everybody in the comments. Thanks to Billy, the Distinguished Ruffian Crowd, Primal, Edleys, everybody else we're whoring ourselves out to tonight. Thank you guys for everything, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll swim again.
We'll swim again, Tuna. I'll swim you in a little bit.